Are you feeling kind of scattered? We want to share 5 ways to help keep you grounded.
Yeah.
It's so important.
It is. And so many people are scattered, including me.
Including me. And we're really excited about sharing this podcast because so many people are suffering.
Yeah.
They've got the anxiety and overwhelm.
Yeah. Even some people are starting to feel physical symptoms like dizziness, or like, I know somebody was saying they felt like they're floating around.
Yeah. There's excessive napping, concentration issues. Indecisiveness is a really big one that's what shows up for me, being unable to make decisions.
Yep. Forgetfulness is a huge one too. And being just clumsy about things, like just feeling out of sorts in your body.
Yeah, like stubbing your toes because you're racing around and not paying attention. I mean, this kind of scatteredness and not being grounded is kind of endemic, unfortunately. And so we wanted to talk about ways that we can help ourselves when we have these situations and kind of hit the pause button. We know that when that happens to us, we have all these like blame and shame and negative self-talk.
Oh, yeah.
How come I'm so clumsy?
Right.
And how come I can't make decisions? And we get really hard on ourselves.
Yep.
And that can kind of go in a spiral as well.
Yeah, for sure. And all of this like results in other things too. We make poor choices. We don't eat well. We don't sleep well. It's like a snowball effect.
Yeah. We need to get off the loop. You're on getting dizzy on the merry-go-round. We need to jump off. And one of the things we know is just sitting down and having a glass of water is really just very helpful. But we also,
as simple as it sounds,
we also found a product that we're really excited to share with you.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this product is something that we both were skeptical about at first because we're really skeptical about most products that come our way, but this one we're really excited about. So we wanted to tell our fans, our listeners about it because we really think it might help this scatteredness. It's helped us both. So we both have stories.
Yeah. It's called Magic Mind. And for those of you who are on video, we hope you can see the packaging.
They come in little bottles. It's a little green drink and it's pretty tasty, and it's you just can swig it. You can also put it in smoothies. You can mix it with other stuff, but I just drank it straight.
I just drank it straight and
totally fine.
Some people say having it cold is better, but my first couple, because I was traveling when I took these, they weren't cold yet. Right. And it was fine.
Yeah, totally fine. I think I had it both ways. So it's good though. That was the other thing too. A lot of these products that come out for all these solutions of feeling better and adding to your smoothies and stuff like that, sometimes they don't taste so great. And this one actually tastes good.
It really does taste good.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to go through your story first or.
Well, sure. I'll go through my story. I mean, my story is that when I got my batch, I was in a little bit different situation. I was going to a women's conference. And so I was traveling 6 hours, and it was a lot of activity and at the same time, a lot of sitting at the conference. And so I had some skepticism and nervousness about my attention span during that time and my lethargy because of sitting so long. And I started Magic Mind the day before my trip and took it every day on my trip. And I felt clear. I had energy. I didn't have a restlessness that I thought I would have. So there was a real I just felt good. And I was really pleasantly surprised. And the one thing that some people turn to Magic Mind for is to wean off some coffee. I did not do that. I still had my normal amount of coffee and I added the Magic Mind. And so that's my story. Yeah. And I found it very successful.
Yeah. In fact, I think it enhances coffee. So it's like you can have both. You can have both of them at the same time. It actually makes coffee work better.
Yeah. So yes, and I like that. But if you are, to our listeners, if you are looking to wean off coffee, this is a potential to kind of cut back if that's something you wish to do.
Right. And I think the funny thing is that neither of us realized the effect of this until we talked to each other after the fact, and it was funny because we each got a packet of 5. And so we each had 5. And I had 5, and of course it tasted good. And I usually don't have a problem with energy, but I definitely have a problem with focus. Always. And where I noticed it the most was I play tennis, and often when I'm playing tennis, there's tennis courts next to me. When I'm playing indoors, there's quite a few tennis courts next to me. And so often when I'm playing, I lose my focus and I see all the other, there's a train coming by, losing my focus right now. I look at all the other players on the court all the time. And sometimes the ball's coming to me at the last second, and that's a constant problem for me. But during the 5 days that I was taking Magic Mind, I played tennis twice. And I, after the fact, noticed that my focus was so much better in tennis. I was not paying attention to all the other courts.
Yeah.
And I wish I realized it while it was happening. I would have enjoyed it that much more, but I definitely enjoyed it afterwards because I was like, look at that. It definitely made a difference. So yeah. So we'd love for you to give it a try. It's a really great product. And so let's tell them what's in it because
are you curious? I was so curious.
Yeah.
So it's got matcha, which is a natural caffeine, and it doesn't give people the jitters, and it's very an even keel and kind of it releases a lot easier into
right.
The release isn't like boom, you got a shot.
Right. Matcha's good stuff. It has L-theanine too, which helps you stay focused. Also helps you sleep. So it's got a double action too.
Yeah.
There's nootropics in it, which means they help your cognitive functions.
Yeah.
And some of these cool mushrooms are in there. Lion's mane, cordyceps.
Yeah.
Some other stuff.
They have adaptogens in them as well. So ashwagandha and turmeric, and those are really good for the body. It just, whatever the body needs, that's what adaptogens go to the lowest hanging fruit of what needs to be supported. So if you've got mood swings or elevated stress, adaptogens can really help with that.
Yeah.
So
and it also has some immunity boosting stuff, and then of course we talk about immunity boosting stuff, just being healthy, eating real whole foods and all that stuff is all immunity boosting. So these are also some good stuff in there that helps that along. So vitamin C and vitamin D, which just helps support immunity as well.
Yeah.
So that's why we like it, because it has stuff in it that we understand and we like.
And it's real.
It's real. That's our biggest thing. So, but this will help your grounding when you're scattered. So give it a try. We do have a code that you can get some discount for. So if you go magicmind.com/nourish, our code is nourish20. And for the next 10 days, you'll get 20% off a one-time purchase. Or if you subscribe to get it regularly, you get 56% off, which is huge.
That's a big deal. Yeah. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm certainly going to be asking my husband to do it because he's starting a new course soon and he's going to need a lot of concentration. So I'm really excited to see, how it works for my husband. And he also likes his coffee, and we'll just, continue to experiment, which is something that Debbie and I often do. So if you're interested in this, magicmind.com/nourish, NOURISH, and then use the code nourish20, all caps. And please let us know what you think. Let Magic Mind know what you think.
Yeah.
We're very curious to share this yummy product.
Yeah, for sure. And again, this is a tool to go along with other healthy habits. And that's why we're talking on our podcast today, is talking about grounding and getting less scattered. And this can help that. But there's lots of other things you can do too.
Yeah. So let's talk about a few of those things.
Yeah.
And the list is pretty long, but we designed this really specifically. And, one is smells. When we have beautiful smells, beautiful calming smells that are natural smells, not synthetics, not fragrances, not plug-ins, but natural smells in the form of essential oils. That can be really very calming and supporting.
Yeah. Or even going out and smelling your rose bushes.
There you go.
But be careful about whatever smell it is, as far as essential oils or anything else that comes in a bottle and not on a flower. Be careful about those ingredients because they're not always great. So.
And we have recommendations for that too.
Always.
So if you're curious, please be in touch.
Yes. Of course, one of the biggest ways to keep you grounded is movement and exercise. And it might seem counterintuitive in a way.
Yeah.
And we want to just put this out there too, that if you're moving too much, if you work out a lot, then don't do this. But if you need to get up and move around, that will really help your brain kind of settle down and be less scattered.
And it's really what that does is it moves you into the body, literally, instead of staying in the mind and having your mind kind of go moving, especially out in nature, right? Getting a walk in, getting a little bit of vitamin sunshine, vitamin D. So
super important.
So moving the body in any way that fits into your schedule,
right? Especially in nature.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, one thing that we would recommend, and it's if you have a spiritual practice, whether it has connected to a religion or not, it's really good to turn to that to kind of get yourself grounded again. There's so much wisdom in that you can kind of foster, and just remember, it gives you the bigger picture. It makes all of the problems, all the issues that you're going through kind of shrink down a little bit and realize, you know what, we're here on the earth to enjoy and to be loving and peaceful. So that'll help ground you too.
Yeah, for sure. In that same, kind of a sister to that is meditation, and it doesn't have to be, but it can be similar or its own path. And having a meditation practice, I mean, so many of our clients say, "Oh, I tried that, I can't do that," and we want to say, "Oh, everybody can." I mean, our mind, the purpose of our mind is to be is always busy. So maybe we need to do a whole podcast on meditation.
Yeah, I think so. Because I used to be one of those people that said I can't meditate. There's no way, because of my focus. But I can, and I've gotten better at it because I've practiced it. So I am up to a good 3 minutes of meditation now, which I'm very proud of. So
and there are all kinds of different ways of meditation, and one is a walking meditation. So you can do a movement meditation that could be a practice. And if, as Debbie said, you've got too much movement in, maybe practicing complete stillness in the body is where you need to go. So finding that sweet spot for you, and that's part of our coaching model, is to kind of help people figure out what is, maybe some tools that could help them because they're needing support. The last one is breathing.
Yeah, and that can go hand in hand with meditation. I usually start my breathing practice to begin my meditation, but you don't have to. I also do breathing practices at red lights. It's one of those things that I just do, and it reminds me to relax my shoulders, just turn into my body. It's just a really good practice. And tell them your favorite method of breathing.
Well, my favorite method is the box breathing method. And it's, again, something to practice when you're in a calmer state and a safe space, so that when you have a lot of stimulus, you can use the box breathing to bring your sympathetic system down into the move from sympathetic to parasympathetic, again, from the head down into the body. And so it's 4 counts in, 4 count hold, 4 count out, and then 4 count hold. You might do it kind of quickly in the beginning, but then the idea is to just expand it a little bit more and get into the restful state. It's very, very grounding. I love it.
Me too. Yeah.
And one of our clients that we shared this with many, many moons ago shared that she just started doing it again. That was really nice to hear.
Yeah. And those are our 5 tips for sure. But that goes in hand with just lifestyle in general, getting outside, looking at the sun, looking at the stars, being connected to nature in general. We are nature beings. And so being connected to it really helps your grounding practice. And that goes along with eating real whole foods as much as you can, trying to stay away from too much sugar, trying to stay away from artificial ingredients, all the stuff that we tell all of our clients, all of our listeners all the time.
And And also part of the grounding practice could be during meal times, saying thank you before and after the meal, and actually paying attention to the food and the colors of the food and the texture in your mouth and the smells, and being present with our food can help relax the whole body as well.
Yeah, that's right. And put your intention into that, saying, instead of, kind of the mindless eating that we do quickly, it's really sitting down, it's no screens, no papers, nothing, and really paying attention to your meal. Yeah. And that way you'll choose really great food too, because then you have to pay attention to it.
That's right. We have some stories around that too. People say, oh, I ate that really fast. And then when we say, all right, just slow down. Oh, it really didn't even taste that good.
That's right.
A lot of awareness there.
Yeah.
And the last tip is about seasonal eating. And we really encourage you to go and listen to our seasonal eating podcast, because when we're connected again to nature with the seasons and we're eating what nature provides at that time as often as possible. I mean, yes, I have blueberries in January sometimes, but they're much more connected to our body and richer for our body in the summer. So right now, at the time we're actually recording this, it's the fall season, and there are a lot of root vegetables that are wonderful, and ground vegetables. The pumpkins are popping out all over the place right now.
They have a sweetness to them that is very grounding, and it's real. It's not, too much. Our bodies can handle that sweetness because it comes along with all the fiber and all the other nutrients that help metabolize all those sugars. So it's really, those are really, all the root vegetables are sweet and grounding and wonderful.
Yeah. So we hope these ideas have helped you feel less scattered and more in the body, and maybe just pick one. You don't have to do all 5, 6, 7, 8 that we actually shared with you, but just one or two, and practice them for a little while. Yeah. And we'd love to hear your results.
Yeah. Definitely, because, and I forget to do them sometimes. Sometimes I have to put little sticky notes to remind myself of what to do to ground myself, especially in transition of seasons. So this is a good time for that. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. And please connect with us at Navigating Nourishment on Facebook and social media if you're interested in diving deeper into these ideas.